When I started my flight training 11 years ago, many hours are wasted in the plane, wandering around, enjoying my life as a student pilot and admiring the scenery without realizing I'm wasting my flight hours here, and most importantly, money. Yes, I never had someone to help me and guide me and explain how preparation is going to play a big part in my flight training, but you don't have to worry about it because you have me. So let's look at 5 ways you can prepare yourself before training. The methods are very simple, but if you follow them correctly, you won't believe how much money you can save by flying less hours to complete your training. Also, it will make you become excellent, well-knowledge and skilled pilot.
November 44 Quebec, we better if you made a slight left turn out for traffic departing behind you.
30 Mike, understand the use taxi Lincoln.
Is it 30 Mike or 34 Quebec? Thank you, sir. Contact Denver radar 19-3.
Oh my god, I look so different without my beard. Anyways, hello future captain, hope you're doing great. You must be so excited as you're planning to start your flight training very soon. I always tell my students, if you ever dream of becoming a successful airline pilot, then do not think your training starts only when you reach the flight school. Most of the students turn up to the flight school without no idea how the training and procedure works. I don't blame the students, because not many schools advise and guide their students to do the early studies. Some schools even take extreme level. When I went to Orlando a few months back, I had a meeting with a school in Kissimmee. They insisted me not to take any kind of studies or preparation with my students if I want to send my students to them. Apparently the way students prepare and the way the school teacher could be confused them, really, it's from the same book. Then I thought, of course you're going to say that. Less they study and know about flying, you can make them fly much more hours and more money in your pocket. As soon as I heard that, I knew this is not the kind of the school I want combat flight training to have any connection with. Some good schools encourage their students to read and study as much as they can so they can have a great training. Some schools even provide study material a few months before the training starts so their students are ready when they begin their training. The quote goes, the more you sweat in practice, less you bleed in battle. In aviation, the more you sweat in preparation, less money you will spend in training. So let's do a countdown style of 5 ways you can prepare yourself, which means number 1 being the best, you know what I mean. Number 5 is join pilot associations. One of the best ways to keep you educated and get recent updates on aviation is becoming a member of a pilot club or organization. Start to attend their meeting and network with other pilots or student pilots. These contacts will help you even after you're done with your training. If you don't have an organization in your area, simply register with a good pilot associations online and start to follow the article and news very closely. My recommendation is AOPA. I think they're one of the best association out there. I'll put a link on the description if you want to sign up with them. Simply register for free membership with them. They offer 6 months free membership, I think, for student pilots. By the way, this is not sponsored by them or anything like that. I'm still a member with them since I started my flight training, and I think they are one of the best places for pilots to get information. Make sure you subscribe to their free digital flight training magazine, I think they call it, and you can have access to them for 6 months as well for free. I think that's amazing. Also, they have many safety videos, blogs and news. You can learn almost everything you need to know about flight training from this one website. Hold on, 2 with my website. Yeah, so with AOPA and compareflighttraining.com, these 2 websites will be enough for your flight training information. Number 4 is use social media. We are so lucky to live in the greatest generation of social media, only if you use it in the right way, that is. Anything you want to learn or get information, just a few clicks away. But only problem is we waste so much time on scrolling through Facebook newsfeed for hours or watching videos after videos of pranks or something useless. It's time to stop watching Casey Neistat and Peter McKinnon, even though they're amazing. What I mean, it's not what you want at this time. So this year, absorb all the knowledge on flying and planes. So start watching aviation shows such as Air Crash Investigation. I love that documentary and learned so much from that in my early flying days. It shows the crashes happen around the world and clearly explain why the crash occurred and how they could have avoided that. trust me, in flying you can't afford to make all the mistakes yourself to learn. So it's better to learn from others' mistakes. Also start watching great landings and takeoffs on YouTube to keep you motivated. Subscribe to some great pilot blogs such as Captain Joe and many others on YouTube. Also on Facebook and Instagram, follow aviation pages. So the idea is, whenever you go to social media, your newsfeed is going to have tons of information on aviation. So you can learn, and it also will inspire you to study and prepare more. Number 3 is chair fly. The next preparation method, which has been widely used by many pilot students before and during the training, is chair fly. It's very simple technique but very effective if you follow the right procedure. Chair flying is simply practicing or rehearsing for a flight while you're on the ground. You can do this in 2 different ways. First one is simply just close your eyes and imagine that you are in a plane cockpit and practice the maneuvers. This is easier if you've already been in the plane before, so you can get that mental image of the interior. If you're finding it hard and you couldn't get the image of the plane, then try the second way, which is have a poster of the plane that you'll be flying, stick that on the wall, put a chair in front of the poster and practice as you're actually flying the plane. We provide free posters to our students, so contact us to get yours. I'll make an episode and go over chair flying method in full details next week, because I don't want this video to be too long. So make sure you subscribe to my channel so you will know when the video is released. Number 2, flying simulators. I've never been a big fan of flight simulators. I never used it before my training or even when I was training. But one of my friends made me realize how important part it can play in your training. He was a top student in our batch and he got his solo done in very few hours, got his license and way too many hours less than mine. He was a brilliant pilot. When I spoke to him last time on Facebook, he's doing very well in his airline career. I remember that day vividly. We had this conversation because that was his PPO license party. Asked him, did you ever had any previous flying experience? Because I was very jealous how great student pilot he was. He said, yes, many hours of flying before. He's trying to do his accent, but anyway, so basically he said, yes, many hours of flying before. I was actually relieved that moment in my head, and I was like, yeah, that's why you're so good. Before that thought disappeared, he said, in simulator. I was shocked and asked him to explain a bit more. From what he explained that day, let me give you a brief of the advantage of practicing sim before your training. It helps you familiarize yourself with the plane cockpit and the instruments. You won't feel like you're on a new territory. It's a great tool for practicing things like navigations, maneuvers, even working on your communications. Also expand your understanding and knowledge on instruments, aerodynamics of the planes and plane components and many others. But it doesn't mean you fly sim for 1 year and you'll be a great pilot. It doesn't mean you do 10,000 landing on a sim and you'll make a perfect landing on your first flight. No. Flying sim and real plane have many differences, I know that. But the point is, it helps you tremendously. So I start offering free flight sims to my students before they start training. And the results were phenomenal. So far, every single student told me that it's helped them once they start the training. I think that's awesome. Number 1 is join aviation classes. The best way to prepare yourself is classes, of course. Especially if you are new to aviation with no background or prior knowledge in engineering of the plane and its functions. It's always good to have that instructor or a teacher who can answer all your questions straight away and enhance your vision on the new career path that you're taking. Being a pilot is about flying the plane, but without the much needed understanding and the knowledge of the plane functionality and the theory behind the instrument, you will never be a great pilot. Our aim is not to become an average pilot, is it? In Asian countries, it's much easier to find aviation classes in bigger cities. I had students from India, China and Korea. They attended the classes in advance. It's not so common in Europe, but most of the students really don't prefer to attend these classes in their country due to 2 reasons. One of them could be far away from where they live. The second one, of course, is the money, because these classes could be very expensive. I understand from students' point of view, because soon you're going to spend quite a lot of money on training, so you don't want to spend more money on classes in advance. Understandable. That's why I personally run free online classes for my students. It's one-on-one classes. I cover what you need to study and answer all your questions. Believe me, attending extra classes itself can you save you thousands of dollars from the flight training, either with me or in your own country and your own classes. I always tell my students, you should study and prepare well enough that if your school gives you a private pilot knowledge test on the same day you arrive at the school, you must be able to pass it with flying colors. And trust me, you will be ready too if you have a good preparation. Most of the students ask me how long before we should start preparing. There is not a fixed answer for this, and it varies with students and the time availability and how much time you spend each day for this. I would say at least 3 months properly before you start your training will be the minimum time needed to learn and understand the basics of flying and study PPL books. I had countless number of students prepare well over a year. So with a good preparation, I had students who took PPL test within 2 weeks of arriving at the school, and most of them got over 95% on the test. So early preparation with the classes will give you that extra push that you need. I can say that with proof from my experience. My 10 years as a flight training consultant shows me that when prepared well, perform better in the flight training than the one who came to the school didn't have any knowledge in flying. From these 5 ways, you might have realized, basically I want you to breathe aviation from the moment you wake up till you close your eyes at night. Well, you can take 5 minutes break here and there if you want. The aim is simple: keep your mind occupied with flight training so you can succeed your aviation career. Because trust me, anyone can get a pilot license, but only the best, very best among you will land that dream job with the big airline. So be prepared to work hard to achieve your dream. I'll be by your side throughout the whole amazing journey that you will start very soon. And if you are one of the lucky ones who have the chance to fulfill your dream of becoming a pilot, please remember this: there are millions of people out there hoping and wishing every moment of their life to have that opportunity of becoming a pilot. But you have that great chance. So do it right and make your parents proud. I know you will. Take care, my friend. Good day.